Speaking of non-problematic folk, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall have agreed to financial terms with TNA, but as of October 12th have not signed paperwork assuring they will actually be at Victory Road. I think it was as of the October 15th Impact. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's the first time they were named. Like, they've been teasing the outsiders, or like nameless outsiders, for a while, but then Jarrett just flat out said, "You want me to say it, don't you? Scott Hall, Kevin Nash."
Yeah.
So they didn't actually have paperwork signed until closer to Victory Road than it probably should have been. They could have ended up with another situation where they advertised stars and then couldn't deliver them, just like they did with Hogan. But it all turned out fine, so everything's fine.
Yep. Good business.
Sean Waltman, who had at least one discussion with Dixie Carter and was assumed to be part of the mix with Hall and Nash, is now not part of any current Victory Road plans. With Waltman not coming in, even if Hall and Nash are finally signed, there will be no one to actually wrestle, which is a fair point. Who's going to carry the actual work rate of those matches?
Big Sexy, baby!
Well, Big Sexy does take a bump for AJ Styles on Victory Road, which I did not expect from him.
A big-ass bump, too.
Yeah, AJ takes a dropkick and he takes like a big cartoon, full, like, spread back bump.
Yeah, we were talking about this on the watch-along. It's like, do you think just everyone loves AJ, all these legends that come in? Because they all seem to bump huge for him.
And I suppose this is night one, where they probably want to be at least somewhat liked by the locker room, because they are guys that, for as much as they do politic and shit,
they are the boys' boys.
Yeah, they are the good brothers, some might say. And they want to make a relatively good impression. Hall bumps all over the place in that main event. Hall's like the super worker in that ladder match.
He's the best part of the main event by far.
And Nash takes a bump for AJ, so there you go. They are working. Dallas Page has also talked about being part of the Outsiders angle, but there have no hints on TV yet, and he doesn't debut until after the pay-per-view. TNA is not allowed to refer to Hall and Nash as the Outsiders, which they do everything in their power to get around. And honestly, I think cross the line. They don't just run up to the line of whether or not they can actually call them the Outsiders. I think there's times where they do just say the Outsiders.
It's a couple of outsiders.
But like, even like the tail of the tape before the Jarrett Hardy match, there's literally one of the bullet points is the Outsiders.
The, outsiders.
Could be any outsiders.
Yeah.
Scott Hall was up to his old antics at last week's TNA tapings. His antics received mixed results among wrestlers, but mostly positive. Jeff Jarrett was holding a talent meeting at ringside where he was informing the crew about the Best Damn Sports Show period tapings. We'll talk about that in a sec. Some wrestlers have even suggested that Jarrett held the meeting to show Hall that he is the authority figure in TNA, because Hall was actually at the tapings. Nash was busy filming The Longest Yard in the build-up to Victory Road, so he's never actually at TV. Hall was at some of the TVs, but never actually appeared like in the building. They just did those vignettes. Hall quickly showed everyone that he doesn't respect Jarrett. As Jarrett was talking from ringside to wrestlers sitting in the bleachers, Hall mocked him from behind. As Jarrett was telling wrestlers that they need to arrive on time, Hall clowned around, running in place. As the meeting continued, Hall climbed inside the ring without Jarrett knowing, snuck up behind Jarrett, and did several cross chops from directly behind his head. A few of the wrestlers were giggling, but most did their best to keep a straight face so that Jarrett would be none the wiser to what Hall was doing.
What a child.
Good kind of child, though. Like, listen, on the level of wrestling antics, that's good stuff.
I hope he at least had signed the paper at that point.
Also, if you're Scott Hall, what the fuck are they gonna do?
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna punish you? You just goof around. You know, that at least...
Jerry's watching it like, yes.
Undermine him. On the other side of Antics, the bad side of Antics,